Okay, for singers without an instrument, we've got the hookups the way you're going to need them. We've got your microphone, of course, you're going to need that. Stereo out, or you can use the mono out. Just make sure you go into the setup mode and change it to mono if you're just going to use one. The foot switch, the switch 3, and the power. You know, as a singer who doesn't play an instrument and you want to produce harmonies, the harmonies have to be guided by something. I'm going to show you in a minute how to use key and scale to guide the harmonies, but you could also, if you want, you could connect your guitar player's input there and then go out to his amp if he doesn't mind you borrowing off his guitar signal. Or you could use the MIDI input there and take a link from your keyboard player's MIDI controller, which he's no doubt using, to control harmonies. But what I'm going to show you here is harmony using key and scale, which is the easiest for a singer. Now, I'm in talk mode now, so you can see that the interface isn't, I'm not making any harmonies or reverb or anything. What I'm going to show you is what you need to do first, which is to set the key and scale. Now I've got my guitar connected to the mixer here, but I'm not going into here, so the guitar is not controlling harmonies, just to give me a pitch reference. There's a G major. So generally this song that I'm doing is going to be in G major. The first chord and the last chord are in G. So I'm going to set that here. So you press and hold the harmony button, and there's two menu items here, key and scale. So remember I said it was in G major, so on this one, the key parameter, I'll set that to G, and that says major 1. I'm going to set it to major 2, so I'll go to the next parameter, right there, major 2. Okay? So I'm going to actually leave that there. I'm not going to get out of the edit mode. And I've got a preset here that has one voicing button turned on, that's high. Let's hear what that sounds like. Sha la 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 dee da. Sha la 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 dee da, la dee da. You can hear, although I was changing chords on the guitar, the harmony actually kind of followed around really nicely because it's using key and scale. Now if you wanted to add another voicing, go to another preset. Let's go to another preset here, the next one. Or rather, let's go to another favorite. There it is. There's our favorite. This favorite has two harmony voices turned on. Generally, when you're using key and scale, using two voicings like higher and low, those two voicings, when they're combined with the high, they won't let you do as many songs. The harmonies won't sound right for as many songs, but sometimes they do work, like in this example here. Sha la 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 dee da, la dee da. So that actually sounded pretty cool. In that song, I could get away with using the low harmony with my high. And the same is true of higher and low. So generally, I just want to recap that. If you're going to use key and scale, the best harmonies to use, the harmony voicings to use that'll work for the most songs is high and lower. Of course, octaves work for everything, and they sound really cool. Now, what I want to do now is let's go back to that first favorite that has just the one voice turned on, and I'm going to explain to you the difference between the 3 major scales and the 3 minor scales. That does cause some confusion for some people. So that song that I was doing there, let's press and hold harmony to get into our... And by the way, did you notice that it came right back to the scale menu? That's what's cool about our editing parameters here. When you edit, it comes to the last screen that you were at, so you can go right to it without having to go up and down and search for it in the menus, which is kind of cool. So we are at, I just tap it to see where we're at. We're at key. So we're in the key of G major 2. Now I'll go to scale, scale. Major 2. What is major 2? Why does that sound different from, say, major 1 or major 3? Well, it matters on this note. Here's the G chord again. There's the root note. There's the 5th note. Da-na-na-na. When I sing that note, if I happen to land on that note in a harmony, this is what the harmony voice will sound like when I'm using the high voicing. Da-da-da, da-da-da. major 2. Let's listen to major 1 and see what that does. Da, 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 da. See, it's going to a different harmony note, and now major 3 goes to a different harmony note again, on again just that note of the scale. The rest of the ones sound fine, or sound the same amongst the 3 majors. Da, 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 da. So when you've got a song and you're not sure which one of those is going to work, it's best to just sing the song, try one, try the other, and generally things will work out. Now let's go into the minors. You saw how the M went to lowercase. There's 3 minor chords as well. And what they do is, the difference in them happens on the 4 chord. So I'm going to play a G minor. Here's a G minor. And I'm going to sing da 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 da. The real difference happens in the minor scales in these notes. Da da over this chord. Da 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 da. Da 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 da. Let's listen to minor 2. Da 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 da. You heard how that 4 note, when I sang the 4 note in G, which is a C. I know this is confusing for some of you, but that chord, that 4 chord, went major. Now here's minor 3. Ba da 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 da. That may sound a little discordant, but generally when you're using key and scale, you're not just playing one chord. The songs are changing. Generally, the chords are moving underneath you, and the harmonies are trying to stay in tune to those moving chords. Okay, so that's a basic sort of rundown on the difference between the major and minor scales, how to use key and scale in harmony with some tips there. One thing I wanted to show you, though, is that when the product ships, the default is that global key and scale global in the setup menu here is turned on. And what that means is, if you're in preset, or rather favorite 1, and you set the harmony to the key of G major, all the presets that use harmony will align themselves to set to G major. You may not want that. You may think, okay, this song, I want it in G major. The next song, I want it in some other key. So either you can turn global key and scale off and save the 2 favorites with their keys, different keys, or you can leave it on and just go in and change it each time the song comes up. Okay? So another thing I want to show you here is hard tune. Now hard tune follows the key and scale that are set in harmony. But you notice that harmony's turned off here, so wait a minute, how do I set that? Well, you do actually set it in the harmony menu. And what I could recommend is, if you're going to use a hard tune preset, like this. If you're going to use a hard tune preset, what you might want to do is turn harmony on, and then turn the voicings off, and then store that. Because what that'll do is, that'll allow you to sing with hard tune on, and allow you to change the key and scale without harmonies turning on. So I'm set to G minor here, yeah. Gosh, that sounds cool. But I just also want to tell you that with hard tune, it doesn't matter which of these major or minor scales you choose. It's either major or it's minor. Doesn't matter which one you choose, because the difference between the 3 harmonies, the 3 majors and 3 minors, only really applies to harmony. Just make sure you get it major or minor for when using hard tune. Okay? So there you go.